What if events went differently? In Avengers 2012, what if Captain America had the Venom symbiote? Welcome back, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, to yet another brand new Marvel's What If fanfiction, and in today's episode we're going to be going over what if Steve Rogers had bonded with the Venom symbiote. Now, you might have seen a couple years ago a similar video of what if Steve Rogers had bonded with the symbiote in Captain America the First Avenger. And now we're going back into the series where we're finally going to be going over what happens next. Now, this series has been a little bit rewritten. It's gonna be a little bit different, but I can't wait to dive into it, my fellow watchers. And I do want to say, before we get into this video, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn those notifications on, as the support goes a long way. It helps make more of these videos. But that being said, grab some popcorn and let's get into the brand new video. Nick Fury arrived at the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility after hearing that the Tesseract had been active. He got down to the underground chamber where the Tesseract was and got briefed by Dr. Selvig on the situation. He summoned Clint Barton and asked him what he thought about the Tesseract's behavior. Barton then talked about how he assumed that the Tesseract was being operated from another end of space as a door which led to the Tesseract. As if on cue, the Tesseract's energy levels began spiking again, and Barton did something that would change the universe. He suggested that Fury should open the door first. Fury could have said no, but instead, he asked how he could open the portal first. Barton said that they could probably charge the cube with several volts of electricity and see if that'll do the trick. Fury ordered Selvig to charge the cube with electricity. Selvig said that what Fury was asking him to do was a very bad idea. Fury replied that he wasn't actually asking. Selvig stared at Fury for a moment and then decided to do what Fury ordered him to do. He weighed the option of refusing, but then at S.H.I.E.L.D. nobody refused Fury's orders. Selvig set the machine and charged the Tesseract with volts of electricity. In the research chamber, it didn't look like the electricity did anything, but what the S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives didn't see was that the electric energy disputed the implement travel of Loki of Asgard. Loki, who was trying to get through to Earth, was caught in the middle of the cosmic energy that he could not control. Even the Tesseract couldn't make sense of the interference from both ends of the portal. To it was like two people were trying to transport themselves using the same corridor, and that was just not feasible. To make room for both sides, the cube's energy expanded across the universe and tore its fabric. Back at the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, Fury ordered Selvig to stop infusing the cube with electric volts. Selvig obeyed, and the interference from one end of the portal ceased. The cube's energy retracted to normal levels, and it resetted from the multiverse, but it transported something back. The Venom symbiote. In the S.H.I.E.L.D. laboratory, the cube exerted a burst of energy that floored everyone. In the midst of the commotion, the Venom symbiote arrived, slinked to a hidden part of the room. Shortly after, the portal normalized and Loki came through it, wielding the scepter. He taunted Fury and said that in Fury's quest to understand what his mortal mind could not possibly understand, he had brought an unpredictable evil into this world. Fury didn't understand what Loki meant by that, but he didn't really care. He just wanted to get the Tesseract away from Loki. Loki went on to use the scepter to turn Selvig, Barton, and other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to his side. Barton then shot Fury and Loki made away with the cube. Then, Fury got up, apparently unhurt from the gunshot. He radioed Agent Hill and told her that Barton had switched sides. He surveyed the room and noted that the portal was about to blow. He stood up and began walking away, but unbeknownst to him, the symbiote had latched itself onto him, onto his sleek leather trench coat. Minutes later, Fury boarded S.H.I.E.L.D.'s helicarrier, and the symbiote unlatched itself from his jacket and retreated into an unseen area within the ship. Against the recommendations of the World Security Council to proceed with Phase 2, Fury launched the Avengers Initiative, summoning Steve Rogers, Captain America, Tony Stark, the Iron Man, Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, and Bruce Banner, the Hulk. The team tracked down Loki to Germany. After a brief fight, the team captured Loki and relieved him of the scepter. However, the Tesseract remained missing. On their way back to the helicarrier, the Quinjet got attacked by lightning, and Thor of Asgard boarded the Quinjet and took his brother. Steve Rogers and Tony Stark went to get Loki back, which they did after successfully leveling a section of a forest. However, they gained a new ally and member of the Avengers team, Thor. On the helicarrier, Loki was imprisoned in a cage that was specially crafted to hold the Hulk. Then Natasha went and interrogated him. He inadvertently revealed his plans to set Hulk loose on the helicarrier. Natasha then went and informed the rest of the team of Loki's plan towards Banner's Hulk. Meanwhile, Thor had told the team of Loki's plan to use the Tesseract to open a portal to outer space and let in an army of Jatari, thus beginning an alien invasion on Earth. Also, Stark had hacked S.H.I.E.L.D.'s mainframe and found evidence of Phase 2, which was a plan to use the Tesseract to power weapons of war. Rogers, Stark, and Banner confronted Fury about what they had discovered about Phase 2, and while Fury was trying to explain, the helicarrier got under attack. Leading the attack was the brainwashed Clint Barton. His fellow brainwashed agents fanned out across the ship. Barton successfully put an engine out of commission. In the ensuing chaos, the Avengers got to work. Rogers and Stark got to repair the engine as the helicarrier began falling from the sky. Thor went to the lower levels to secure Loki and make sure he didn't escape. And Natasha was left to deal with controlling Banner, whose alter ego had been activated by the violence around him. Thor got trapped into the cage. It was subsequently ejected from the helicarrier by Loki. Natasha was chased through the ship by the Hulk, who destroyed everything in his path. Stark, who was repairing the helicarrier's engine, and Captain Rogers was waiting for him to finish so that he'll pull the lever and restart the engine. One of the brainwashed agents showed up and began firing on Captain Rogers. In a bid to get away from him, Rogers fell into the deep recesses of the ship. The good news was that he had gotten away from his assailant. The bad news was that he was trapped by heavy metal and couldn't find a way out. He was looking around and saw the black mass of the Venom symbiote. He looked at it and couldn't make sense of it. It moved effortlessly like air. It seemed to flow like water, and it looked like a solid. It definitely didn't look like a good thing, so he started struggling to set himself loose, but it didn't work. The symbiote got on Rogers' body and infected him. Immediately, Cap felt several times more powerful than he was used to, and his hands and body forcefully pushed the heavy-duty steel beams that he was trapped in. He emerged and picked up his shield and went back to Stark. he saw Stark stuck in the engine and tossed around by the engine's propellers. With his newfound strength, he jumped far into the air and landed on the engine. He reached in and pulled Stark out. His body got nicked by the propellers, but for a moment, he felt more powerful than he ever had been before. Stark saw that he was covered in black goo, and it was almost like he became something new. Before Stark could say thank you, Captain America took off, announcing that he was going to find Barton and put an end to the attack. Rogers did find Barton all right, and he found him fighting Natasha. Rogers' anger swelled, and he got into the fray. Barton managed to stab Rogers in the chest with one of his arrows, but it really had no effect, as Rogers simply pulled it out, and to the shock of Natasha and Barton, that wound sealed up, healing Captain America. Rogers then punched Barton on the head, knocking him out instantly. He then got onto the unconscious Barton, picking up his head and began banging it on the metal floor. Natasha protested that Cap should stop, but Rogers wasn't listening. He continued until Barton's skull split open, and he enjoyed every bit of it. Fury was talking with Natasha, Stark, and Agent Hill about Captain America's behavior. Stark told Fury what he saw about Rogers' impressive regenerative healing capabilities. Natasha mentioned his uncontrolled rage. It's like he had a taste for blood, she said, that he instantly healed when Barton had stabbed him. As if on cue, Rogers walked to the table and saw Fury. And Fury said to everyone that he was going to test that healing. With immense speed that no one saw coming, Fury pulled out a large shotgun from his trench coat, aimed it right at Rogers' face, pulled the trigger. Half of Rogers' face was blown away. Agent Hill yelped in surprise. Then Fury watched as the black goo appeared and began to reform Steve's head. When Steve Rogers was fully healed a moment later, he charged at Fury, but Fury pulled the trigger again and missed on purpose. The fear of the gun stopped him in his tracks. Agent Hill then secured Steve, and he was taken away to a medical facility to be checked out. Over at Medical, it was discovered that Steve's cells had bonded with the symbiote. Tony Stark asked where the symbiote had come from, and Fury remembered Loki's words at the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. He then answered that the Tesseract had inadvertently portaled in a symbiote from outer space. Then Fury's pager went off. He signed. He was summoned by the World Security Council. He went and they informed him that Steve Rogers had to be exterminated along with the symbiote he carried. Fury protested, saying that Rogers now had enhanced strength that no other Avenger had. He then resolved to disobey the Council. When Fury left the Council, he saw Rogers and Stark engrossed in a fight, and Stark wasn't winning it. Stark's suit was being destroyed by Venom, who had completely transformed out of Rogers. What stopped their fight was the sight of the portal shooting up in the sky from Stark Tower. Fury seized the opportunity and informed the two men to quit attacking each other and go stop Loki. Boarding a Quinjet with Natasha, Captain America and Tony Stark got to the tower. Stark changed into his new Mark 7 suit after the old one had been destroyed by Venom. Captain America transformed into Venom and began sparring with Loki just as the Jatari began streaming in. Hulk and Thor came around and joined the fight, evening the score against the Jatari. Natasha got on comms and informed the team that somebody needed to go up to Stark Tower and stop Venom from killing Loki. Hulk then jumped up the building and found Venom literally trying to bite Loki's head off. Hulk and Venom began sparring with each other. Meanwhile, Natasha informed the team that she had found a way to close the portal. Fury also announced that a nuclear missile was heading for New York, and the Avengers needed to get out of the way. Iron Man then told everyone that he was going to take that nuke through the portal so that he could go off in space and eliminate the Chitauri. Venom and Hulk were fighting and destroying Stark's tower in the process, breaking crucial pillars that held the building together. Soon, the building began to sway. Natasha told Stark over the comms network that she won't have long enough before the building collapsed, and the window to close the portal was getting lost. She looked up in the sky and saw that Stark had gone through the portal. Just then, the building began to collapse under her feet. In desperation, she used the scepter and stabbed the Tesseract, closing the portal as she fell with the collapsing Stark Tower. She got rescued by Thor, who had flown just in time, and caught her. Back down, the collapsing Stark Tower did something remarkable. The falling steel beams caused a loud racket, and the noise disoriented Venom, so much so that it unlatched itself from Steve Rogers. However, without the symbiote to protect him, Rogers fell to his early grave, with no one to catch him. Meanwhile, the clock on the nuke had run out, and it exploded, but Tony didn't fall out of the portal, and it closed. With the portal closed, the rest of the Chitauri army died all around them, but they weren't celebrating, and the reason was clear. Tony Stark was lost in space, and Steve Rogers was dead. And that is going to be this video of what if Captain America had the Venom symbiote in Avengers 2012. Now, I'm leaving it off with a cliffhanger, my fellow watchers, because I know that a lot of you guys would like to see a part 2. You would like to see where this story is going to be continuing. Now, if you guys do enjoy these Marvel's What If videos, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn those notifications on, so you and your friends are all up to date with the latest content. But that being said, what do you think is going to happen next? What should happen next, and what could happen next? It's going to be an insane ride as we continue this incredible journey. What's going to happen with the symbiote now being in the MCU timeline? Could other members of the Avengers get it? Is Tony Stark dead? And is Captain America really dead? I mean, there's so many questions that are not answered yet, and I mean, there's more questions now than what we have, and I can't wait to get into part 2. But that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a fantastic day. Peace out.